Hello everyone, Machi here, welcome back to another in-depth look video. And today we are looking at two-thirds of the Disciplinary Committee from Final Fantasy VIII. I'm talking about Raijin and Fujin, of course. Now we kicked Cypher out of the committee here to have space for Shadow, so Shadow is gonna complete our team here. We're gonna use Brothers as a summon, a nice Leo friend here. And we're gonna do the Alphinaud Lost Chapter Chaos fight for this video. We're gonna analyze Raijin and Fujin, what they do, what they bring to the table, and my thoughts on them. Now, first of all, usually I talk about the characters in these videos, one at a time, but in this case I'm gonna talk about both of them, kinda jumping between them, because they have a lot of similarities. Both Raijin and Fujin are kind of hybrid characters in the sense that they bring good damage to the table, especially AoE damage. The whole Disciplinary Committee is very good on AoE situations compared to single target. And they have a lot of party-wide buffs, utility, or tools to deal with the fight in some ways or another, in different ways. So Fujin is more focused on giving speed, initial bravery to the team. She has the possibility of launch. She has kind of counters. She has possibility to battery. While Raijin is all about attack. He has a lot of attack auras and buffs. Generic physical attack up to the whole team, making him really good for physical based team, being it ranged or melee. The possibility of paralyze on demand with Raijin. Raijin is also kind of an healer, passively having HP regen, which is really cool. But of course, both of them bring especially Wind Enchant Imperil and Thunder Enchant Imperil, which is of course the main thing. So let's start by looking at Fujin here. Let's start with Sai. Sai is a 5-hit wind melee bravery attack plus HP attack, 150% overflow, 50% splash. This is our way of dealing the wind resist down as well on all enemies. We also gain attack up 2 and Silent Wind, and we enter wind mode. So, Silent Wind is a unique frame buff here, raises party attack by a good chunk, grants party wind enchant, and also has a bravery regen effect. The attack up of Fujin as well that we gain is pretty crucial. I would say that, depends on your team. If you have another buffer, it's okay, but if you don't have someone else that can buff her damage, you would definitely want to keep this buff here, or her damage might suffer. Silent Wind is really good. Now, here her bravery regen is not super amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but it's very nice to have, considering that you can stack it up with more bravery regen effect or more initial bravery buffers, and then it becomes really nice. Metsu is a 4-hit group wind ranged bravery attack plus group HP attack, 180% overflow, proportionate HP damage to all enemies. 6 turns party-wide does speed up 1, and the Silent Wind as well, high turn rate. Now, things to note here is that first of all, Fujin puts speed up on your whole team. I love it. I think it's amazing. It's especially amazing for Fujin because Fujin can launch with her EX, which means that she wants to have good turns management. So having speed up helps with that for sure. Another thing that helps with that is having high turn rate on Metsu. As you can see, we jump up in turn there, in the turn counter. So using one of the things that you will learn to do with Fujin is using Metsu even just for the high turn rate, so you jump up in turns and then you will have a kind of better setup for a launch later with her EX. So keep that in mind. Definitely useful to sometimes use Metsu even just for the higher turn rate. So let's start with Metsu actually right away, just to have our speed up to the whole team. Okay, we have our Shadow here. Shadow, do your thing. Raijin, let's talk about you as well. Raijin, assuming you have him fully built, start with his EX up. So let's check that one first. It's a 8 hit Thunder melee bravery attack plus HP attack, 150% overflow, 100% splash damage, which is something that the whole committee does on the reacts, including Cypher. 4 targets of Thunder Resist, all targets, sorry, 4 turns of Thunder Resist down. You gain a frame buff called Thunder Peel, 1 stack of it. This buff, we will check in a bit, and goes up to 3 stacks total. Thunder Peel stacks increases on 1 level each turn, depending on what you do, excluding doing some stuff, but we will see that in a bit. So, absolutely we need that buff, so EX. Awesome. Now I will swap out Shadow here for Leo and just do a first wave here, and we get to the boss wave fairly quickly. Alright. Another thing to consider with Fujin here is her HP plus. It's crucial to her. We will see it better later, but let's see it now. It's a 3 hit wind ranged bravery attack plus HP attack. A little bit of overflow, grants allies bravery based on 50% of the HP damage dealt. So it's actually a really good battery tool that Fujin has as well. She will use HP plus quite a lot in a fight, definitely, depending on your team. But in our case here, she's our only source of battery, really. So she will probably HP plus quite a bit. Let's use it. Leo, you just delay. Okay, Raijin. Let's check your unique buff. Thunder Peel raises own attack and max brave based on stacks. Like we said, max stacks is 3, and we gain 1 stack each turn. So 30% total, I believe, 10% for each stack. Grants party Thunder Ancient effect and restores party HP. This is great because Raijin is not of course, he's not a traditional healer or a dedicated kind of support, but he has a passive HP regen effect, kind of like General Leo here. It's really good because you can actually just not have a dedicated healer in your team with him here, mostly. Maybe if a fight has constant HP attacks, stuff like that, his HP regen might not be enough, but generally speaking, it's actually a really good regen and can be enough to heal through a chaos fight for sure. So that's great. We need to reach 3 stacks to modify our HP plus, and we will see that. So let's check our skills. We have Fist, which is an increased bravery based on max brave. Oh, by the way, all of Fujin and Raijin skill have a plus version here, but assuming that you have them fully realized and built, you will 99.9% of them use only the plus version, so it doesn't really matter. Increased bravery based on max brave, 5 hit, Thunder melee bravery attack plus HP attack, 180% overflow, physical attack cap 1 to the whole party, and a high turn rate. Now, first of all, this move hits really hard. It's a very hard hitting move that Raijin has. It is important to note that Raijin is probably like the slowest character in the game. He's super slow. What this means is that you don't want to kind of waste turns with Raijin. All of your turns needs to be kind of good. If you mess up, it might cost you because his turns are not very frequent at all. The speed up of Fujin also helps him a little bit in this case here. This is not a bad thing, it's just to say that you will probably need some time to get used to Raijin's pace in the game, and then you will kind of understand how to rotate through his skills and abilities a little bit better, because he's definitely a little bit unique in that sense. Fist is one of the best ways for Raijin to jump up in turns, as you can see, as well. It's very crucial for that reason as well. Raijin's special instead is a 4-hit group Thunder melee bravery attack plus single target HP attack, 150% overflow, 50% splash, 4 turns of Thunder resist down to all the enemies, so another way of putting that Thunder resist down, 6 turns of max brave up 2, and Thunder mode, high turn rate here as well. Pretty straightforward. Something to note here is that the max brave up that you gain for Raijin is fairly crucial as well, assuming that you don't have someone else that can buff him with Max Brave. So you want to try and keep that one up as well, otherwise his Max Brave drops quite a bit. With that said, I think it's not always possible, I think, in the sense that sometimes, given that he's so slow, sometimes you might want to use his turns for like a Paralyze, a Feast just to jump up in turns, or something like that. So I think sometimes it's useful to kind of like forget his Max Brave a little bit for a moment to do something else that might be more useful. But generally speaking, try to keep that one up. Okay. We need to get 3 stacks of Thunderpeel. Let's feast some people. Alright, great. Let's use Metsu to get speed up, or refresh our speed up as well. Leo, you do your thing. Alright, now we have 2 stacks of Thunderpeel. We are building those up. We can just feast here. I don't think there's any reason really to HP plus with Raijin usually, his normal HP plus I mean, which is just standard. The reason for it is, like we said, is pretty slow, and most of the time you won't really need to use HP plus, you can just use your abilities. So let's just do more damage with Feast. Yeah, maybe we can use one more. Do we want to use Shock? Yeah, let's use Shock. Okay, now we have 3 stacks of Thunderpeel. What does this mean? First of all, we have our fully stacked Max Brave attack. But also, Lightning Discharge is our modified HP that we gain with 3 stacks. This is a 3-hit group Thunder melee Brave attack plus group HP attack, a little bit of overflow, proportionate HP damage, but most importantly, all target paralyze. This is incredibly useful, of course, having a character that can do an AoE paralyze kinda on demand is great. So this is, of course, great utility that Raijin has, but it is a few things to note here. First of all, once you use it, your Thunderpeel stacks go back to 1, so you need 2 more turns to go back to 3 and then paralyze again if you want to. But that doesn't mean that your whole gameplay cycle is to gain 3 stacks and then use HP+. Absolutely not. It might happen, but it's not the goal. Keep in mind that, like we said, Raijin is low, so using a paralyze at the wrong moment is absolutely not useful at all because it might cost you later. And also, this move doesn't do that much damage as well, so you might just use something else to do more damage. And also, you lose stacks, so technically you lose a little bit of attack and max, which is never, it's not that big of a deal, but it's not, why do it? Do we need to paralyze here? Absolutely not. Let's just use the EX and let's go. Alright. And Fujin, you just finish him up. And we are into the boss wave. Alright. Now, with Fujin, we have the EX up as well. First of all, as a reminder, in this fight, when these 2 monsters have the yellow glow on, they have a lot of bravery damage reduction, and we need to break them to take that one off. Now, Tai is Fujin's EX. Let's check that one out right away. 10 hit group wind range bravery attack plus group HP attack. More damage when attacking single target, 150% overflow, total HP damage to each target, grants allies bravery based on the HP damage dealt. All targets wind resist down for 4 turns and 3 turns of the unique framed debuff called Wind Slash. 6 turns of wind mode as well, and like we said, you start a chase or a launch. Okay, we will do 0 damage right now, but we need all those debuffs on, so let's do it. Okay. Alright. Now, Leo, you can just delay this guy and also break him. Great. Now, both of the targets here are have the Wind Slash debuff, which triggers Wind Slash after each turn. What is Wind Slash? It's simply a 3-hit ranged bravery attack that Fujin does, kind of like a counter, basically. A bravery hit counters, which is incredibly useful to Fujin, not only because she procs that after each enemy turn, so the more enemies the better, but she will gain a lot of bravery out of it as well, which means that then in return she can battery more with her HP plus and more safely. So it's a great cycle there for Fujin. So keep that one up all the time if you can. Now, do we wanna paralyze here? Yeah, because B might probably one-shot our Leo here, so it's time to paralyze. Okay, we need to break B to take out that bravery damage reduction that he has. Yeah, let's just do a wild throw with Shadow to do that. Alright. With Fujin, we can just use Metsu here to refresh our speed up. Here we go, that's the Wind Slash. As you can see now they don't have the bravery reduction, we do a ton of damage. Shadow, you do your thing. Didn't dodge that one. Okay. Raijin, we need to build up our stacks again, and we need to put the Thunder Imperial as well, so let's do that. While Fujin, you can just HP plus this one. And Shadow, you wipe. Okay, so we need to play the fight out now and see what we can do. We have Raijin Pulverizer as well ready. One thing that we might want to do is... So we have 2 stacks of Thunder Peel, and we could gain one more with Raijin Pulverizer, but if we use Feast, we jump up in turns, and then we might have a better paralyze, so I want to try that. Great. With this team, with the Imperial plus the physical attack up as well, Shadow should always hit max damage here for sure. Alright, let's refresh our attack and buffs here with Fujin. Okay, yeah, I definitely wanna paralyze here. So we stall the fight a little bit. They're gonna buff themselves and put the bravery reduction again, so we avoid that a little bit. Alright, this is also a good time to check out the AA of Fujin. Delays all target by 1 turn, group range bravery attack that delays all target by 1 turn and slightly raises party attack. This is of course great because, for example, here we set up a good launch with the whole party. So let's use the EX and refresh all of our debuffs and buffs. Alright, Shadow. We can just do that. Alright, perfect. damage. Okay. Now there is a little bit of a little trick that you can do with Raijin to gain faster stacks of Thunder Peel if needed for faster paralyze, which is to just use his AA, because it's a 2-hit Thunder melee bravery attack plus HP attack, which also slightly raises party physical attack. But of course, anything that we do increases our Thunder Peel stacks, so let's use it. Now we need to refresh it, of course, so we need to use our EX. But we will be at 3 stacks faster that way. Alright. Let's just use an HP attack here. Now they have the bravery reduction in place. Very good, Shadow breaking them already. I still want to paralyze B, so he doesn't do the all attack right away. So let's use it. Okay, let's use Shadow Stealth with Shadow here. It is enough to break him, very good. Let's refresh our Metsu, our speed up to the whole party as well, very crucial. And also Shadow, you can probably also just use an evasion here, so we will evade the whole attack. Oh, you jumped out in turn so much, Shadow, okay. Fujin, let's not get broken with Fujin here, since she is the last here in the turn count. And Shadow, you can just do that. Alright, perfect. Now we have the healing of Raijin kicking in and doing its good job. Another all attack from B, so that's gonna be a little bit nasty. Hopefully Shadow will dodge. We also have tie up, which actually it's probably a good chance to summon right now, right away. Let's do it, since we have a good launch setup. Alright, so we summon, and let's try to do as much damage as possible. We will also have a chance to gain one more stack with Raijin and paralyze them if we want to. Perfect. Shadow attack this guy. Let's see, Matsu, yeah. One more turn with Shadow. Actually more, because he's so fast. Alright. I honestly don't know if we want to paralyze them here or not. Might be better to paralyze them later, actually, maybe. Yeah, I'm not gonna paralyze them here. Shadow, what you can do is evade it. That's always nice. Okay, with Fujin, we're probably gonna get broken, but let's refresh our wind resist down. We have wind flash as well. Okay. Now we start getting shadow, so that's good. But we can also just paralyze them if we want to. Let's do it. Shadow, you continue attacking. We don't have a good launch, but we need to set up our debuffs again. Alright. I'm gonna set up, let's see. Yeah, let's use one more wild throw. We have a launch to use. And now with Shadow we can set up our last evasion and attack B. Raijin, you can use one more AA, gain our faster stacks. We want to, in this case, as you can see, with Fist we would jump up. So let's use Fist, so we have a faster, a better setup in turns for Raijin later. So that's great, we avoided, we already broke that guy. We need to break this other guy too. Let's use Matsu. Yeah, we can break him with Shadow Fang as well. Could have probably splashed him down. Alright, and now it's just a matter of finishing the fight. We have one last paralyze to use. We probably don't even need it, really. Yeah, let's just attack. We should be able to finish them off, I think. Perfect. And we can finish up. All right. Okay, so hope you guys had a good look at Raijin and Fujin. I think this fight was good to showcase what they could do, both of them. The paralyze of Raijin is very, very cool here, it's useful. The launch is great, the debuff of Fujin is great here. So I think it was a good fight to showcase them. Hope you enjoyed it, I hope you find it useful. Let me know what you think of them in the comments, and yeah, see you guys in the next videos.